I don't know what's going on. Microphone's not working, I guess. I forced it was working. Well, can you hear me? That's, I guess, the first thing. I feel like this happens every single time. Something always has to go wrong. But you know, we'll figure it out. Coming loose. No one's here right now, so I'm just gonna. I don't know what's going on. That's really weird. I'm just gonna make sure everything's looking fine. Let me know. How are things looking? How are things sounding? I'm gonna test it out myself. Alright, well, don't know what's going on with that, but let's get right into it. So, I'm just gonna kind of work on stuff until people get here. Whoa. And, you know, I'm gonna talk, just do stuff. And then once people get here, I can start doing more specific stuff. Okay, so for starters, I'm going to talk about the film that I'm currently working on with my friend who usually does videos with me and stuff. So the video we're currently working on is a feature film, probably going to be around 60 minutes. We've been working on the script for that. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And I'm not going to really reveal too much of the script because that's spoilers, and I don't really want that to happen. Not something we're ready to publicly show. But I am going to kind of break down maybe like the opening scene, just for everyone to see. Here are some of these comments. Okay, so for starters, with the script, every scene starts off like this. You write exterior, interior, because you have to say your setting, and then you say your time, or exterior, interior. It's just setting. Two options, and then you say your literal setting, so the governor's family house, and then the time of day. If you're writing a script, I recommend just day or night. That's easiest, especially if you're writing a script for someone else. If you're writing a script for yourself, go wild with it. You could say evening, morning, whatever. But if you're writing a script for someone else, say day or night, because you don't want them to work around your script and have to film at evening, because that means you have to be filming at golden hour, which gets complicated, like a maybe 2 hour window, an hour before, an hour after sunset. But everything has to go right. It's just a whole hassle that you don't want to force someone into have to deal with. If they choose that, they can. But yeah. Okay, so moving on, we have right here a lot of description. So we as you can see, like to have a lot of description with our films, and not only explain the setting, characters, etc., but the shots. So right here, our first line is: shot opens on a magnificent house flagged by flowers and well-trimmed trees. So that shows just setting what the house is going to look like. It helps us when we get to the shooting phase or production phase, know what we need to have ready for filming, and kind of figure out where we're going to shoot this, and things like that. The rest of this is same idea. Podium, right there. That's another example. We actually built a podium for this, and so we knew. So when we were writing it, we had to make sure to incorporate that so that we knew what we were going to be saying. And the rest of this is very straightforward. Scene comes off loud and rowdy because of the murmurs of the crowd. That's just an example of a sound effect that we're gonna have to put in later. Again, just a little note that we'll just to remember. Again, more detail the better, in my personal opinion. Although, make sure if you're writing it for someone else, you match their requirements of what they expect of you, because that's what's most important in this situation, honestly. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'll say on this for now. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start editing. Yeah, I guess that's how you'd say it. Let me take this part out. I'm going to start editing a video I've been working on, or just filmed today. Because yeah, it's just something I need to get done. And then if people do show up, I will make sure to talk about whatever you want to talk about, and I can answer any and all questions that you have. When I'm doing this, I will talk about kind of what I'm doing and stuff like that. But yeah. So right here, this is a video I actually pretty much just finished up. And it's a YouTube short. So what I did was I filmed it horizontally, then just kind of shrunk the scale down, and then what I did to get that blurry background was I just upped the scale of the second clip, like right here, and then added a Gaussian blur, and I think that it makes it look really smooth, things like that. What I've been seeing a lot in a trend recently has been adding a transcript or closed captions. I did it in a kind of boring way, but you can do it in a lot more fun and exciting ways. It's the first time I've tried it out. So I'm going to be doing it in more advanced ways as I go on in the future. But definitely adding text on your videos makes all the difference in the world. This little clip that I added right here, just there, I added a little up and an arrow when I'm talking about adding a link to the description. Just little things like that, little things you can add to the video, just make it more captivating and keeps your viewers' attentions. Same with this right here. Instead of asking the viewer to subscribe, I just added a little what's going on? A little overlay, a little thing like that right here, as you can see, to just remind them subscribe. So that always helps too. But yeah, let me know if there's something specific you want to talk about. If not, I'm just gonna keep talking about this, start working on a new video that I want to get done. So I'm gonna actually save this so I can show you how to export it. I actually already did that, but just make sure you pick where it's gonna go first, because that's super important. You don't want it getting lost in your files. And then you can adjust the settings. I just always have it match what I recorded it in. I tend to record in 4K. I find that to be the best, but you know, each your own. So I'm gonna actually close out of this and close out of this. And I want to import this new video that I brought in. So what I usually do is I usually just start by unlinking the audio and the film. It's just easier that way. But you can always keep them linked and then, you know, cut out what you want or want to keep or whatever works best for you, honestly. And yeah, so I have my footage right here. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm just gonna go up to the sound and dialogue. Then I'm gonna click on the preset, and I just clean up noisy dialogue. That's the preset I tend to find works the best. It sounds the best in my mind. But you know, whatever you think sounds best, you can mess around with these tools too. But it just kind of works well for the microphone that I have. So I found that to work best. And then next I go up into volumetric color, and I really just hit auto and then kind of make a few adjustments here and there, like that, for the white balance. So that's something you could do, and it could take a few tries just to get it right. It really depends, and sometimes it just doesn't work the way you want it to. So that's how I would do that, and then I would go in here, you know, adjust some of the shadows and stuff like that, just to make it kind of. And there's more of a science to this that you can look up. You can really open up window, geometry scopes, and that'll tend to be pretty useful to the video you want to make. You can look at these, adjust the whites and blacks, and there's kind of this sweet spot that you want to get between, I think it's around 100 and 0. And I don't do this too often. I just kind of see what this will do for me. But, you know, that's pretty much what I did just there. And I think that looks pretty good. So that's what I'll do with that. I tend to toggle between the balanced male voice and this, or podcast voice. You can kind of adjust it to your voice. So you know, I've made the adjustments. That's about as much I'm gonna get out of the color because of the lighting. What I did, I have the same thing I actually have on now. These little lights here. Just add some like cool colors to the background. But honestly, looking back on it, probably shouldn't have done it for this video. I just kind of kept what I was gonna have for the stream for this. They're just gonna be easier for me. So that's what I'll say about that. Yeah. Okay, so moving on, I'm just gonna kind of trim out whatever I don't want to have. So I would use Command K, Q, and W. So Q will cut everything to the left of your little marker here. So if I hit Q right now, it's gonna cut all that. And if I hit W, it's gonna cut everything to the right. Or I could just hit Command K and it'll make a little cut without deleting everything. So there's a few options you have there. It kind of depends where you are, what you're doing. You just kind of get a feel for it. But definitely having those key commands make the whole process a lot easier than going over here and hitting the, I don't even know where it is. Wow, it's been so long since I've done that, I don't even know how. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna hit play. Cut it right there. You can just kind of zoom in, and once you zoom in, you can kind of see where the dialogue goes up and down. If you want to cut out any big uhs or ums, you're definitely free to do that, and that can help by zooming in and doing that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. See right there? So I just cut out an right? And you can't even see that I cut. Other than the subtle lights that are there in the background, it's pretty much unnoticeable. Which is why I would actually recommend, again, not using lights like this that change colors for a video. And it might be better to use those for streams, which is why I had them. So that would be my recommendation on that front. But this is just a video that you're gonna actually, I'm probably gonna post here. You'll see. Yeah, it's also a school project, so that's why I do it. Checking some of the questions, see if there are any. If there aren't. Oh. Okay. Anyway, so let's continue editing the video. I'm just gonna continue to just kind of scrub through it. You know, cut out any pauses, things like that, just to make the whole video just a little bit faster, better paced, all that. Yeah, that's kind of my main idea. Okay. If I cut it close. So what I'm going to do here, I kind of take this long pause. I'm just going to cut that out. And this is what I'm doing right now. It's called I'm making a jump cut. And that's what's often used in YouTube videos. If you watch anyone on YouTube, you're probably going to know some jump cuts at some point. It's just not really the smoothest transition, but it works for YouTube. It's just kind of the normal, what's kind of standard for the platform. So I'd recommend doing that because it's just easy. It looks pretty decent. And it's better than fading in and out all the time. It just makes it look more clean and keeps the pacing going rather than all that other stuff that you could add. So that's my recommendation when it comes to that. I say way too much. I could just start right there. Like right there, look at that. You can't even tell other than the lights, which again, that's the problem with that. So that was my mistake, but you know, we're gonna fix that. Anyway, continue. And just cutting all this out, just again, it makes it look smoother, makes it more professional. So it's always worth taking the extra time to do it. It's not that bad. Another thing it'll do is if you have low retention data, right, and you're seeing your audience and your viewers spike, not spike, you're seeing them dip rapidly. This will help with that. Keeping the pacing up in your videos is one of the most important things you can do. Here, I can show you some of my retention graphs so that you can see kind of, and I can probably talk a little bit about what happened with those. So let me go and find that so I can show all of you. Okay. So we're just gonna switch over to that. There we go. Okay. So as you can see here, oh, who disliked it? That's sad. Anyway, so let me just pull up a few graphs. So, oh, that's not a. This video I'm not expecting to do well. We'll pull up that one. Pull up this one. Let's see if there's this one. I don't think did as well. We're not going to use any films as an example. That's a different, completely different thing. You're not going to want to worry about that. By the way, thank you all. We are on our way to 5,000 views on this video. I don't know why. This is one of my weaker videos, in my personal opinion. I just changed the thumbnail. I never really loved the thumbnail. But it's 4.6 thousand views, 163.8, and 17 subscribers of this. Thank you all so much. I can't even begin to say how much I appreciate this. This was a video I didn't even script it, honestly. And that just kind of goes to show how random things on YouTube can be sometimes. You never know what's going to happen. And I don't know. It's just kind of a crazy thing. Anyway, so this graph is kind of a weird one. So it never gets that low, but it is a constant decline. So there's still a lot of people watching after the first 30 seconds. That's kind of what you want, what everyone talks about. The first 30 seconds of the video, you're most important. and that it seemed to do a pretty good job. If this had continued straight or hadn't dipped as much, I would have said great. Average view duration of 2 minutes for a 6-minute video. That's 31.4% average percentage viewed. That's excellent, especially for a channel like mine, which is smaller. Not just something necessarily you'd expect, but it does dip a lot. So what I would be looking if this was your video, I'd be looking around this point and see, okay, what's going on here? Why aren't people watching? Why are people, going out? Again, I say it's the halfway point just because, although since it's a constant decline, it's not as obvious what might be going wrong. So you just kind of have to look at the video as a whole and check the pacing, things like that. For me, for this video, I'd attribute it to not having scripted it. Might have lowered the view rate because it just wasn't as smooth. That's all I'll say for that one. This one was scripted, and you can see the massive difference there, right? There's a 20.6% average view duration, right? That's a little bit less, but it's still longer than this one. This 2 minutes 15 versus 2 minutes and 8. I know that's a small difference, but small difference can make all of the while. However, with this video, the people in my mind, the first 30 seconds, I could have hooked people better. So if I go here and I just play the first 30 seconds, what happens? So you see the puppet. I probably didn't get into the main meat of the video that quickly. You can see I'm kind of just waving around, talking. Anyone who's not interested in this is going to pretty much click off decently quickly. And you'll notice I don't get to talking about the film till right now. So that's 25 seconds till I actually start talking about the film. I would try and cut this down to 15 seconds. That's my biggest recommendation that I would say for this video. However, you will notice I did script this video, and the pacing, it only, for most of the video up until the very end, it shuffles between 25 and 40 and 25% of people watching. So that is actually really good. It's a very straight line. So the big problem with the video is right here. The pacing of the video is actually decent because that first part is just people who aren't watching. Having that straight line is always a very good thing. There's nothing, again, it's very flat line, so I can't really attribute anything specific to a spike or a dip, like, oh, I could keep doing that or, stop doing that. But this is a good place to be, for sure. And I would definitely explain the difference between this decline and this. Again, 12% of viewers at the end versus 7%. Again, big difference. I would attribute it to scripting it. I think it just makes videos smoother, lets everything come out in a more flowed and organized manner. Especially for a video essay like this one, you can't not script them. So that's what I'll say. This video is rough. So you got a lot of spikes and dips, right? But it's a lot right here. Average percent of view lower, 18.5%, 1 minute and 22 seconds. It's not that great a video, personally. I will be honest about that. Let me open up this one because it's a very similar video. This one I did a much better job with, although I don't know if the data represents that, but we'll see. Yeah. I don't know if the data will represent that. Let's see. Yes, there you go. 26%. You can see how the data spikes, right? So whatever I did right here, probably too long of an intro. Yeah. See, it's not until 35 seconds when I actually start. I know. And then there's another dip here, right? Because I don't start doing anything until this point. So a lot of people are clicking off there. But then there's a spike again once that the constant dips and spike mean people are skipping through the video. So whenever I'm doing the time lapses, sometimes people will skip that or something like that. But overall, it's a decently straight line, and the views actually go up towards the end. So whatever I did right here, this is the very end, so a lot of people are probably skipping to see the final results. That's just gonna happen when you're doing a video like this. As far as I know, there's not much you can do about that. And then there's the final reveal. So that's kind of how that video worked. Whereas this one kind of went down and then flatlined because I wasn't showing you something new. You were just seeing an explanation, right? And so anyone who's not interested, again, gonna click off right away. But it also is kind of a boring intro. It's just me there talking to the camera. The B-roll is not great at all. Could have been much better. And so for those of you who are familiar, A-roll and B-roll, A-roll is what you record of yourself, right? B-roll is what you put over that. So if I'm doing a video essay, right, the A-roll is me talking to the camera about the film. B-roll is footage of the film. And in this case, it's me. The A-roll is me talking about the equipment. The B-roll is me showing the equipment. Except for the B-roll wasn't filmed very well. That's one thing I need to do more research on because good B-roll can make or break your video. 100% B-roll is extremely important, and without it, you're kind of lost. So that's how I would explain that one. See, again, this one's an experimental project, sort of. It was an English assignment, which is why so weird. But the assignment was to convince our teacher something. So it shows to convince him we live in the simulation. I'm probably gonna I would attribute the low ratings on this video to the boring title and thumbnail. So I'm gonna show you how I would switch that up right now. So live in a simulation. That's a much more captivating thumbnail than loading. I was trying to do something like cool and different, but that clearly was not the way to go with this video. And so you live and you learn, right? So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go here, open up Photoshop. This is kind of a very random stream, but you know, open up Photoshop. Let me just switch it over for all of you. Okay. Once I get all set. Okay. So here we are. We have Photoshop right here all open. I'm just gonna go onto Safari and look up simulation. Get some inspiration, you know, see what, you know, might work. Because that can be very helpful for your video. Maybe find some pictures that you might want to add. So I'm gonna do that quickly, and then we'll see. This shots from the Matrix. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm thinking about doing this. I'm gonna take a still frame from the film, just literally the opening shot, because I think that one's actually pretty cool, and take that, screenshot it, and use that as a thumbnail. So that's what I'm gonna do. Figure out how to get that. The best way to do that in this case for me, I'm just gonna open up the old project. I'm gonna take this as it is. And then I'll adjust it to the size and settings that I want it to. I just had to screenshot it off of YouTube because that's the best way to do it. So to revamp this thumbnail for this video here to make it more appealing to the viewer, I am changing the title and the thumbnail just to show you how that's done, since this video hasn't performed as well as I would have liked it to. So first off, just taking the still frame from the film because I think that would be a cool thumbnail. Taking that as it is right now. Also, make sure to leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to see me talk about. I could talk about film equipment, Premiere editing, iMovie editing, just editing in general, thumbnail creation, video content, filmmaking books, tons of stuff, filmmaking advice, screenwriting advice, go through the script I'm working on, go through a video I'm editing. I could do whatever and anything you could think of that has to do with YouTube, filmmaking, all of that. So, yeah. Hello? Cool. Anyway, so I'm going to take this thumbnail and let me think. Wake up. That's gonna be that's captivating. You know, people aren't really gonna know what that means. So that's um we're gonna change the color. 30. Add a little drop shadow. Bring the size way down. I mean the spread way down. This thing. Here. So that's the thumbnail I have for that right there. We're gonna take that, export it, click export. We live in a simulation. I'm gonna go to details, change, just add in the new thumbnail and see what happens. So it's currently sitting at around 45 views. Isn't bad by any means. And the new thumbnail is very simple. You're not gonna see it pop up here yet, but you'll notice I've been revamping some of the old thumbnails. Kept all the Assassin's Ascension stuff because that just isn't really needed. But yeah. But I've been redoing the old thumbnails such as Pet Cemetery, Road to Revolution. I should redo these film trailer stuff. New title card isn't really necessary. It's an old title card, so we don't really need that. Halloween Ends, I created that with Canva. Same with this one. Although this one I don't hate. It kind of adds some mystery, adds some intrigue, things like that. It's one of my favorite thumbnails, the Indiana Jones reaction. And I just recreated or remade the At Eternity's Gate cinematic masterpiece video. I recreated the thumbnail for that, or remade, in the hopes of getting more views, just to see what would happen if I made the thumbnail better, because I didn't really love the thumbnail the way it was before. So we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, I think the best thing you can do for your channel is make your thumbnails look professional, because if your thumbnails look professional, people will click, people will watch. Thumbnails in the first 30 seconds of your video are some of the most important things you can make. There's really nothing else, not much else to it. So I'd highly recommend that. Yeah. Not much else to say on that subject. So I'm going to go back to editing my video. Again, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. But yeah. Save this. And I am gonna add the little short film just because that clarifies what is about to any potential viewers. Short film. Cool. Anyway, I'm gonna bring this back to Premiere Pro. There we go. I'm just gonna continue editing the video. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of blank space here, so we're just gonna kind of crop that out. Yeah, I keep making these long pauses, so I'm just cropping those out quickly, and it's coming out. And you know, it makes it a lot smoother, pacing better. So that's why I do that. Yeah. And since this video wasn't scripted, it's even more important to do this because of the fact that I'm pausing and stuttering and things like that. Which makes the pacing better, which is the problem that I had with the Van Gogh video. That was a problem with the retention that we just looked over. So we're just continuing to and just going through this, cutting out any unnecessary noises. And again, see right there, that's an obvious jump cut, right? But it's fine because it's YouTube. You don't want to be doing that in a film. It's just not going to work. It's going to look awkward and clunky. But for YouTube, no one's going to notice. It's going to be fine. It makes the video smoother. So that's my biggest piece of advice on that front. Sometimes you get away with it when making a film, but it's unlikely. Right there, you can't even tell that I cut, other than the lights in the background. Again, my mistake. That'll be something I make sure not to do next time, because it just makes the video more difficult. And this takes a little bit of time, but It's worth it. And you're gonna get the hang of it after time, so. And see, I left a pause there because it was necessary for the video and the pacing. It just didn't make sense, so. This part's difficult. I want to cut out what I say next, but it goes, I don't pause. So that's gonna happen sometimes too. You're just gonna have to work around it and zoom in and see what you say. Okay, so see, I just had to zoom in a lot. You can see the breaks in the dialogue. And cut. So I just went through the entire film, and now I have all of these clips, just a whole lot of clips. So the reason that I did the sound and color first I don't know what's going on with the stream. Let me check this out. Saying there's a problem, but it's also saying there's no problem, so we're gonna figure this out. So no, it's fine. Okay. So yeah, this VOD I will keep posted so that all of you can see what's on there. And what I've been talking about here. I might put them into some shorts or videos or something like that, just because. But it's all going to be here. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this stuff too, because I enjoy doing it. Anyway, so back into video editing again. Put a comment or answer the Q&A if you want me to talk about something specific. I can literally talk about anything that has to do with filmmaking, pre-production, production, post-production, and just YouTube in general, how to grow your channel, things like that, from just advice I've learned from other people, and just knowledge I've collected from doing this. Anyway, so I just finished cutting up this video, and so the next thing I'm going to do is start adding text overlays, whatever I think will work to make the video flow better, look better, retain the audience retention. And one thing I'm going to do is just right here, I'm going to mark 30-second point, because with YouTube, the first 30 seconds are is arguably the most important part of your video, right? So you got to make sure it's entertaining, hooks to the viewer, and all of that. Otherwise, they're not going to continue to watch. So this is the point where you really want to have a lot of the dialogue, the fun effects, all that. That's where you really want to add all of that stuff. So I'm just gonna watch this and kind of see what I think could be good to add there. So this is a bit late, but it's where I'm gonna I talk about Star Wars, right? So I'm gonna go on to Google, right? Look up Star Wars and just find the movie poster for A New Hope. I think that'll be a cool little thing to add here. Yeah. So that's my idea for this. Just added it to downloads. Now I'm just gonna, oh no, I copied it. I'm gonna now add it to downloads. That's how it works. Save image downloads. And then I'm just gonna open up my folder and drag it right into there. That's honest. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, I'm just dragging them. Make sure the magnet's on. It makes the whole process a lot easier. And I'll zoom in so that you can see that. So now it's the right side, the right length. I'm just gonna scale it down to what I want. Rotate it to add a little more, some little bit of a cooler look, and put it right there. And so I have this extension called Atom X. I got it from something I bought. It's the Premiere Gal toolkit, which you can buy as well if you want to. It is kind of expensive. I got it as part of this deal, which made it much, much, much less expensive. So anyway, I'm going to add a sound effect here because that just makes it more dynamic. So a little pop. And yeah, that's about as simple as it is. Actually, I like that one better. And you can find these anywhere, so you don't need to get a fancy thing to add this stuff to your videos. You just need a little, you can look it up on YouTube even. And it just makes your videos a lot better and more captivating for the audience. And actually having it end at this cut right here helps to mask that I did cut, which is another helpful thing that you could use. So I'm talking about A New Hope. So I'm gonna add another picture that's gonna kind of cover the whole screen. Again, this is kind of some B-roll, which is gonna actually be pretty helpful. Honestly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into YouTube and then get a YouTube to MP4 converter. So I'll show you what I'm doing here so that it makes more sense. Jump on over to Safari. Boom. There you go. Okay. So YouTube to MP4. Then oh look, there's us. I'm gonna look up Luke getting his lightsaber. Just gonna find the right clip that I'm looking for. This looks like it is that. Exactly what I'm looking for. Just all you have to do is copy the link, paste it into the converter, and hit start. It's very straightforward, and then you can just download it, and it should go right into your files. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So then I'm just gonna hop on back over to Premiere Pro, switch it so that you all can see that. Make it smaller. And yeah, let's jump right back in. Okay, so I'm gonna take it out of the, it's in movies. I don't know. Oh, there we go. I don't know what's going on there. And if I can change the color of this, I don't know. I've never actually tried this before. It doesn't seem like I can. I was gonna say if you could change the color of it, that would make it helpful to just see the difference between it and the other clips that you have. Yep. Yeah. So once I start talking about New Hope, I'm gonna actually, I don't want the audio here, and I'm gonna mark when I start talking about A New Hope. And it's actually more like here. So mark that in and out, which is where I'm gonna want this clip to start and end. So right about here, I'm just gonna have it go to this clip. Mark, right? And so now I have the whole clip here, right? But I'm just gonna take the part that I want, which is right about here. Cut all that useless part out and just trim it down. Bring it back. And there we go. So this is, I'm gonna have to make a little bit of adjustment to it because of the fact that it's not exactly where I wanted it. That's okay. I thought this was where he opened the lightsaber. Where does he open the lightsaber? I think I went too far. So again, I'm just gonna have to go back and search through it. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Go to here, add the clip, trim it, go back, and yeah. So then I'm gonna add a crossfade to both to make it smoother and scale it up. Now that's not good, so I'm gonna, you see that right there? So just to make it smoother, do that. Maybe it'll look better. Yeah. And you could start to see that, so I'm just gonna move it over here. You can see the jump that I did, so now that's a lot smoother. So you're not seeing both clips, you're just seeing the one that I wanted to start on. And I talk about George Lucas, so again, pretty straightforward. Just look up George Lucas, get a picture off of Google, boom, send it to downloads. Your downloads folder will become over flooded with all this stuff. Feel free to delete it after the video is done. You're not going to need it again. Some of the stuff you might like like the music and stuff, but so I tend to keep it, but I'm gonna add that for the duration of that clip. And to make it a little bit more dynamic, so that it's not, I'm gonna change the scale by like 120, right? Oh, messed that up. Right here. So I'm gonna have the scale be 100, right? 120, so it's gonna slowly zoom in, and that'll just make it a lot more interesting to look at. And there you go. It's just a subtle thing that you can do to make it more compelling to watch. So and now I'm just gonna add a clip of somewhere, a movie that takes, I'm talking about how films could take me that I love films because it can take me away to somewhere completely different, right? So instead of just looking at me talking about it, I'm gonna add an example of a film that does that for me. So I'm gonna use Avatar. I think that's pretty much the most basic example of escapism in film. So I'm just gonna look up Avatar scenes and look up a YouTube to MP4 converter. Same one as last time. Found this video just called The Beauty of Avatar. So I'm just gonna take that, convert it, and once that's ready, I'm gonna send it to my downloads and add it to the clip. That's really, and this is 1080p, so that's perfect. Exactly what we're looking for. And it just, again, this is all to make your videos more dynamic, make them more entertaining, keep the retention of your viewer. Download that and give it a second to download. And for the meantime, I'm going to mark in and out when I want that to go. So okay, so I'm going to put it right at this clip. Boom. Again, the whole thing, it takes time, but it's very straightforward. It's not anything too complicated that we're making. So yeah, anyone can do it on, you know, any site that you use. I like this shot right here. So I'm gonna take that, delete it, send it here, and go to here. Whoop. Timeline, cut it, and just watch it. Now I'm just gonna watch it and see how it looks, just to make sure it's run smoothly. See right there, that was a problem. So I'm just gonna do it. That's about as smooth as I'm gonna get with that. I just didn't like it having that extra shot at the end. It didn't look as smooth, so that's all I had to do there. Talk about entertaining movies. So what's an entertaining movie? Let me look it up. Let me know in the comments what movies are entertaining to you. Maybe I'll add that one. There we go. I am taking a scene from Across the Spider-Verse because that's a big movie. It's phenomenal, beautiful, kind of matches up with everything I'm talking about. Okay, converting it. So I don't know why that clip's not downloading, but that'll happen sometime. So I'm just gonna go to YouTube. And I'm gonna take the famous leap of faith scene. Everyone knows it. And I can convert it, download it, and there we go. Got that. So sometimes they don't always work, but you know, it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do here, mark in and out where I want to talk. Start it. Actually, going to start it here. Add some more distance between them. So I want. So then this gets to the outro. I'm not really, probably not going to add anything there, but mark in and out that. Again, just drag and drop the clip. Delete the audio. There we go. Cut. Bring this here. Drag it back. And trim the rest. And now let's see what it looks like. Add Command D. See, that clip didn't really work. It was kind of weirdly put together, so I'm just gonna again oh, that wasn't very bright on my part. So I'm just gonna have it fade out a bit sooner so you don't have to see that part. I'm gonna make that a little bit shorter actually. There you go. That's a pretty smooth transition out of it. I might make it a little bit shorter of a crossfade and bring it back to here. It's a lot of fiddling with it, and you'll eventually kind of get it right, but it takes time. So now for this last part, I'm just gonna add it's just the outro. So I'm going to open up the channel trailer and copy and paste what I have from that into here. Just because it's easier. I don't know what that was. I don't know. Do that. Okay. Alright, well, I guess that's not there anymore. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Got food now. And so, what I'm actually going to add here is at the point when I asked to like subscribe, got a little overlay for that. Actually, for this video, I'm not going to add that since it's a school project and I don't know. It's a different kind of video for me. Talk about my passion. So that's that video. Let me know in the comments. Would you like to see me make the thumbnail for this video and post it so that you can kind of see what the whole process is like? I don't know. And that's going to download. And the camera turned off. Alright. I'm going to take a 2-minute break and fix that. I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. So Yeah, we just finished the video. I'm gonna save it. And now we're gonna hop over Photoshop. So same thing. Let's think about this. Oh, okay. Cool. So for the trailer, for the thumbnail. So honestly, Across the Spider-Verse has been a huge thing, right? So I'm probably gonna use that as my thumbnail. It's probably gonna get me probably gonna get some more views. So if I do that, and then let me know in the comments. You want to see that? You want to see a review of Across the Spider-Verse? Let me know, because I'd be happy to do one. Think about doing one with David. But yeah. Okay. So we're gonna take that, paste it into here. Right. There is the main subject, and we're gonna remove the background. See how that works. Yep. And add a bit of drop shadow. There you go. So in like 3 seconds, what I did was added some dynamics to the photo. So as you can see, I took the first one, I took the thing, pasted it twice, took the one on top and clicked remove the background right here. Then I went over to the effects, just drop shadow. These are the settings for the drop shadow I have, so if you want to take a screenshot of that or something, you can do that. It's very subtle and just makes it pop out a little bit more. So that's what I did. And now we're gonna add some text. Just why I love movies. I'm thinking we're gonna take movies, put it in the second one. I'm gonna have it be kind of around him. Yeah, and we'll have it go underneath. And then we'll have this one go on top. And boop. And make it 50%. Add a little bit of a glow. Inner glow, sorry. Outer glow. Make it a bit more dynamic. That's a pretty decent thumbnail right there. I'm gonna stick with the yellow. Makes it stand out. And there you go. There's a thumbnail. I don't actually love the yellow, so I'm gonna make it a bit of a different color. Maybe the red to match Miles would work, but you don't want red on a thumbnail. So purple. Brighter. And honestly, I'm gonna go with the drop shadow for this too, rather than the glow. That's much better. See, it's just about messing around with it, seeing what you like and learning from experience. So that's the biggest thing I'll say about that. Cool. And there we go. Now we're going to go into YouTube and we can upload it. So, yeah. Upload video. See, I have all these saved just so they're ready. Here we go. And then, this can be a quick process. You just have to learn how. Doesn't really fit in any of those playlists. Personally, I don't really bother with tags other than on streams. They don't tend to do all that much. So I wouldn't kill yourself over it. It's not worth it. You can do it if you want, but my little warning against that. I tend to do best reviewer. I don't want to put it that early. So if I can make it for the last 10 seconds of the video, I'm gonna do that. And then I'm just gonna play it and see how that works. Just hear it. Stay right here. Right there is when I transition into kind of the outro. So yeah, now I'm just gonna save that. Next, public, and publish. Now it's gonna start uploading and publish automatically once it is ready. So that is kind of how I make my videos. Yeah, and you can see now, which should be the case. That hasn't changed yet. often. It will take a little while for things to change on YouTube. So just be patient with it. There's not much else you can do. This took like a day to do that. Yeah. I'm gonna wrap it up here. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more of these, if this was helpful, what else you want me to talk about. I have a poll in our community tab wondering what type of videos you want me to make. I have more time to make videos now, and I want to do them. So, yeah. We are also on the way to 500 subscribers. Hope to get that new monetization update. I've done 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. Is our next goal. So make sure to like and subscribe because that always helps us out very much. And without further ado, thank you so much for watching.